we are getting closer to summertime. People are going to be planning their vacations. One place they plan to go in Michigan that I love going, and I need to go there more, Port Austin. I'm talking to someone right now that knows all about Port Austin. Let me put up a picture on the screen, by the way. Introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Sherry Seeley.
Okay. So that's when you think of Port Austin, what I have on the screen, I forget what I should know this. What is that called? That is what? That is
Turnip Rock.
yeah, that's it. I have not been out in the water by that. Have you?
I have not actually.
Okay.
You
Uh,
cannot access Turnip Rock from land. You can only access the area from water, and it's surrounded by
okay.
private property.
Okay. Now I know. But I love the area there. I went out there a year ago to take pictures with the family. And it's a place that would you say primarily gets a lot of income and sales tax and all that from tourists?
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's been that way for what? As far as I'm 50 years old, as far as I can remember, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have property there. Um and there was something that's happening next week at a is it a village or a council or a town? What is Port Austin?
Port Austin's a village.
A village. Okay, a
Yes.
village. Every Michigan's different with every city, village, township. I didn't want don't want to upset them. So they want to do well. The first thing is a short-term rental. Is it an ordinance?
Yes.
Is there any ordinance now on the books?
No.
Okay, so they want to do a short-term rental, and a lot of people probably rely on. Is that the same as an Airbnb? Is that are we talking the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, because Airbnb is an actual company, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So a lot of people like those because they can go and a place to stay and bring the kids. But so Port Austin wants to limit how many, and then they also have what it sounds like strict regulations with them.
Yes.
So tell me and everyone else, what were you saying? It was like a dozen or 20 or as you know now, how many can do they want to limit it to?
To 20. They
Okay,
want to
20.
limit it to 20 short-term rentals.
Okay. And are there other things that go along with it, like I don't know, parking or what else is like if what do you do? What do they want?
Well, they have to provide the property owner's information, and if the property owner doesn't live local, they have to provide a local agent. They have to provide the village with the number of bedrooms in the dwelling. They have to have a certificate stating that each bedroom has a working smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector for each floor, and that the owner is going to inspect it every 90 days. They have to provide off street parking for each short term rental and give the village a map of where that off street parking will be. The maximum number of occupants has to be divulged to the village. They also have to sign a statement certifying that the applicant consents to an inspection of your property by the village upon their request,
Hmm.
and any additional information may be required by the village.
That's generic.
It does say that there will be licensing fees um, involved in this, but it does not give you an actual price, an actual number of what the fee will be, other than the citation fee, and that's
Wow.
$500 a day.
Okay. Wow. The okay, so there's that and they're going to talk about it. Um what is your opposition to this? Why is this bad?
Well, for me personally, you know, I am a native. I enjoy coming to Port Austin to use the beach, to visit my family and friends. I love to have my family and friends that are not locals come and visit us. Um, and I think limiting our potential for income at the local businesses is sad. We're limiting the amount of people that we can bring into town, and those businesses are not going to be able to sustain themselves if we don't have the people to shop there.
Okay, and I am going to read you something. I do some work. I work with the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. They did a study on this, and it research, and it says the results of this type of crackdown usually ends up with more expensive vacations, less tourism, and a black market for rentals. So expensive vacations, less tourism, because if you don't have enough places for people to stay, someone they might stay in another town, I guess, right? If
Yes.
yeah, and this is not like that's what Port Austin is. It's a vacation destination. We're not talking about I don't know Saginaw or something. Not that it's right. So, and there are currently short term rentals, and as you know it, those might get to be grandfathered in, but they probably will still have to do all the rules. I would imagine.
Yeah. I don't know all the exact rules for the ones that are going to be grandfathered in, but it says that for a short-term rental operator prior to the adoption of this ordinance has to apply for the license within 60 days. And to be eligible for the license as an existing short-term rental, the owner must provide documentation that the dwelling was rented on a short-term basis between May 27, 2024 and September 2nd, 2024. So even if your short-term rental was in business prior to that and you only used it in the wintertime for, say, ice fishermen, then you're not eligible as an existing short-term rental.
Yeah. Um, Many people. This has happened in cities across the state of Michigan, and Michigan is. A lot of cities do this. Um, it's is it government overreach? It's your property. You should be able to do what you want with it.
That's how I feel.
I mean, and obviously there's things about, there's safety and noise if if there's having because honestly, my house here, if I'm renting it out and there's parties and someone calls the police, that you can still get in trouble for noise violations. So,
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that. Let's not, punish everyone for the few who, you know, the few bad apples in the barrel. Get rid of the bad apples.
and there's already laws on the books to take care of that.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the point. So what's good with public safety? So they're going to vote on this. Other cities have voted on this, but then you have states like Florida. They are open to this sort of thing, and look what they're doing. They're booming um, with the economy and so forth. But Port Austin, how much? I don't even know the answer, but I'm assuming tourism is a top, probably the top or one of the top money draws in for people.
It is the only draw in for people. I mean, there's no factories, there's no, large employers in Port Austin. It's only service businesses, hotels, motels, grocery stores, restaurants, ice cream shops. It's only tourism. In the wintertime, they roll up the sidewalks.
Wow. What would if I always ask people if you were the mayor, if you were in charge of everything, what would you do? Would you do anything or just kind of reassure? What would you say to everyone if they came to you next week and said, "Okay, Sherry, what's the answer? What do we do?"
I think that they should consider better regulations. There are better things that they can do besides eliminating them all. What they're trying to do, it eliminates tourism and it hurts the local economy. It violates property owners' rights. And it's unfair to people who are trying to just enjoy their weekend with their family, forcing them to either stay at a hotel or a bed and breakfast, or you know, even the state campgrounds you can hardly get into anymore since COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to find some place to stay up in the thumb.
Yeah. So your point is don't be as intense if you're going to do it, but because limiting them to 20 and all this sort of thing, that's not helping. So just it sounds like it's really intense, but if they're going to do it, this is not the way to do it, in your opinion.
Right. Make regulations. people need to be fair. They need to be good neighbors. You don't need a bunch of crazy wild Indians hanging out at the Airbnb next door to your house every single weekend. But if that happens, there are laws on the books to remedy that. And you don't need to hurt everyone just to get rid of one.
Yeah, enforce the laws that are already there because they are. If I'm throwing parties all night long, even as a homeowner, I can get in trouble for that, waking up my neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
Kids want a tent in the backyard. They're, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. So you're going to be there at the meeting and you just ask that they just listen to you and others. Just have an open mind.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Cuz it's nothing, it shouldn't be anything political or personal. It's really just you want what's best for Port Austin, it sounds like.
Absolutely. You know, I, I'm a longtime native there. My family's from there. We've spent a lot of years there. I don't want to see it turn into a ghost town.
Yeah, it's not like you're some big property owner in New York City and don't even know what the town's about. That is you are that y- you you recognize with that town. That's your childhood probably.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to keep me updated. Let me know what happens.
Okay.
Thank you so much.